Call Chris Hipkins.
Thank you very much, Mr Chairman. Mr Chairman, happy to take a brief call to set the record straight with regard to the concerns that Mr Henare has raised about this piece of legislation. I was indeed approached by the Deputy Leader of the House today to ask whether, in fact, we could reach some accommodation to correct for Mr Henare's total incompetence in shepherding his own bill through the House. I indicated I would look at it and get back to the government. I got back to the government whip and said, no, actually, I'm sorry, but they're just going to have to wear it. The fact that Mr Henare was too incompetent to move the amendments that were required to this bill at the appropriate moment is not something that this opposition is responsible for. In fact, it's something the government's responsible for, and they're going to have to wear that. And perhaps if Mr Henare had paid a little bit more attention and given a little bit less bluster when he was progressing the earlier stages of this bill, they might not be in this predicament. Mr Speaker, Mr Chairman, the amendment being put forward by my colleague Darian Fenton is a very sensible one, because what it does is it still ensures that the option of a secret ballot is there if the workers want to have a secret ballot. But what it does do is it prevents an employer going to court and overturning the decision to hold a strike on the basis that it wasn't a secret ballot. And I think that that would be wrong. The workers, the people who go on strike, could have very legitimately voted in favour of going on strike, and the employer could have that overturned. They could go to court about it. They could go to court about it on the basis that it wasn't a secret ballot. So I think what Darian Fenton is doing is actually giving effect to the intention of what Mr Henare says he wants, which is to give workers the choice of having a secret ballot. The amendment being put forward by my colleague Darian Fenton does that. But then again, I wouldn't necessarily expect Mr Henare to adopt an amendment which made sense, given the approach that he's taken so far, to this bill, where he's totally hashed it up. And as a result, we're going to have to come back and look at it again. So no doubt we'll be able to debate it when we go back to the beginning and look at it all again.
The members, you're calling? Yes, Andrew Little.